लेकिन अब सवाल ये है कि आखिर ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? कैसे बीफ कल्चर केरला की पहचान बन गया है? कैसे एक भूमि जिसे परशुराम की भूमि कहा जाता था, वहीं बीफ कल्चर नॉर्मल हो गया है?
अब केरल के प्रोग्रेसिव और सेक्युलर हिंदूज ट्वीट पर ट्वीट और पोस्ट कर रहे हैं कि बीफ खाना उनका अधिकार है।
It's again that time of the year when Kerala becomes the target of generous doses of hate. The latest wave was sparked by a scene in the trailer of Kerala Story 2. In what is supposed to be the Kerala part of the story, beef is force-fed by caricaturish Muslims to a character named Surekha Nair. When accused of spreading hatred for political gains, the filmmakers claim that they have no links with the BJP.
Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan have had election last year, but we've got stories from those two states. So, and those are also the BJP ruled states, as people say that we are the stooges of BJP.
But is it really true? Because an RSS-linked organization has helped with the ideation of the movie. And it turns out the production house behind the film has even donated to an organization that says it helps Hindu women in interfaith relationships and weddings. And overall, the BJP has created an atmosphere in the country where beef has turned into a political weapon. And the irony? It's the same BJP that gets crores in donation from beef exporters. I'm Pooja Prasanna, and let me explain. Now, before we go any further, I have to quickly remind you what you're about to watch isn't just commentary. It's built on court records, government data, election disclosures, and on-the-ground reporting. Much of it done by independent newsrooms like ours. And that kind of journalism is not cheap. It also doesn't survive on outrage alone. If you value reporting that slows things down, adds context, and doesn't talk down to you, then consider supporting the News Minute. Because your contribution helps us keep Let Me Explain going for a long time. And it also helps us doing journalism that isn't shaped by political pressure or corporate interests. So you know the drill? Scan the QR code on your screen and pay any amount of your choice, or you can click the link in the description below. Now let's get back to the story. First, about the makers of the movie. Kerala Story 1 and 2 were made by Sunshine Pictures, owned by producer Vipul Shah and actor Shefali Shah. The first film was accused of spreading hate, but it did wonders for business. Sunshine Pictures revenue jumped from 26 crores in 22-23 to 133 crores in 2023 and 103 crores in 2024. It would seem that while hate may be controversial, it's also quite profitable. Now let's talk about the ideology driving the camera. This report on News 18 is an interview with Brij Kishore Katyala, who chairs the board of an organization called Bharatiya Chitra Sadhana, an organization linked with the RSS. It says the RSS and BCS are working towards the kind of cinema that would contribute to nation building. And that in the past few years, this initiative has supported the ideation and creation of films like Samrat Prithviraj, The Kerala Story, Bastar the Naxal Story, and The Kashmir Files. Now remember what producer Vipul Shah said about being called BJP stooges?
And those are also the BJP ruled states, as people say that we are the stooges of BJP.
Yeah, that line doesn't quite hold anymore. We should also talk about where some of the money goes. Sunshine Pictures donated 1.1 crores as CSR funds to an organization called the Vijnana Bharati Educational and Charitable Society. Now, this society is run by a man named K.R. Manoj, referred to on the website as Acharya K.R. Manoj Ji. This donation isn't surprising, because in 2023, Vipul Shah announced that they would donate money to rehabilitate victims of religious conversion. Manoj Ji, a few years ago, used to run Shiva Shakti Yoga Center in Tripunitara in Kochi. It was shut down after 2 Hindu women went to court saying that they had been kept in captivity and tortured there.
My name is Sashida. I was born as a Hindu.
When I fell in love with a Muslim man, my family took to an anti-conventional center where they tortured me for 7 months.
One former employee went to court saying that women in interfaith marriages were beaten up and they were also kept under sedation. To be clear, there were also women who defended the center, saying that it helped them come out of such relationships. These women appeared at a press meet and made some eye-popping claims that 7,000 people had been radicalized in Kerala and Manojji's institution had reformed them. These numbers were never independently verified, including by us. But as is evident from all of this, there is a clear web here. Hindutva helplines encourage parents or anyone to report interfaith relationships. Places like Shiva Shakti Yoga and Arsha Vidya Samajam make massive unverified claims. Then, an even bigger exaggeration of these numbers becomes a movie, which is ideated by an RSS-linked organization then. It's a study in how this kind of moral panic gets industrialized. Now we'll have to zoom out a bit. How has India become a place where this hate has been completely normalized? Where the people of a state are forced to actually post pictures of eating meat as a symbol of dissent? Part of the answer lies in the law. From the time that India's constitution was drafted, there is no doubt that protecting the cow was important. Many political parties have pandered to this sentiment and introduced cow slaughter bans either fully or with conditions. This includes the Congress too, let's be clear about that. But here's where the BJP's hypocrisy shines. And I'm going to illustrate that using two separate maps. There are only a few states in India now that don't ban cow slaughter. West Bengal, Kerala, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram and Tripura. In Manipur, the ban comes from an old royal resolution. There's no new law. Now notice something. The BJP is in power in Arunachal, currently leads the government in Manipur and is part of the ruling coalition in Nagaland. Before the Nagaland elections in 2017, the BJP promised that there would be no beef ban there like there is in Uttar Pradesh. Manipur CM Biren Singh said the same thing in 2018, no beef ban. So here's the question, why would the BJP not bring the law in these states? Here's where the second map comes in. It's easier to enforce a ban in the core Hindi belt, where there are larger populations that don't consume meat at all. But once you move to the northeast states or states like Kerala or Goa, meat consumption is near universal, including beef and buff, that's buffalo meat. In these states, a cow slaughter ban isn't about sentiment, it's simply not enforceable. So the BJP practices selective outrage. Where bans are enforced, they're brutal. Gujarat's law allows life imprisonment for cow slaughter. In November 2025, 3 Muslim men were sentenced to life under this law. In another case in 2019, a man was accused by his neighbor of stealing a calf, slaughtering it, and serving it at his daughter's wedding. There was absolutely no proof, and no forensic test on the meat proved that it was even beef. But the Sessions Court judge shifted the burden of proof on the man, saying that he had to prove that it was not the same calf that he had served. The burden of proof does not lie with the accused even in rape and murder cases. Anyway, the High Court eventually reversed the order and set the man free. Now let's look at Uttar Pradesh. The state uses the Anti-Terror National Security Act for cow slaughter. Indian Express reported that till August, NSA was invoked against 139 people in the state, 76 of them for cow slaughter. NSA allows people to be jailed without trial or formal charge. So the laws have grown more stringent. The BJP and the wider right-wing ecosystem have weaponized anger against beef eaters. And all the while, the party has received generous funding from beef exporters. Scroll recently reported that India's largest beef exporter, the Alana Group, donated an unprecedented 30 crores to the BJP in 2024 and 2025, even as beef exports crossed $4 billion for the first time since 2018. Yes, you can now counter that by saying that India officially permits only the export of buffalo meat, technically Kara beef or buff, and that's not cow meat. But when someone is attacked, lynched, or even booked under terror laws, no one stops to check whether it was beef or Kara beef. The mob just doesn't care.